So let's go ahead and put it back together. First thing I'm going to do is going to grab the, well, let's talk about one thing. We are going to, in the next part, is we're going to try to weaken this spring, which is the sear spring, and then this is the disconnect spring. So these two, we're going to try to release some pressure off it, and hopefully we'll take some pull weight off the trigger. If that doesn't do it, the next thing we're going to also probably do is try to hone where these two surfaces come together, as you can see right there. And they're actually pretty nice the way they look now. I was looking at them, but go ahead and grab the hammer and put it on the pin itself. On the back, you're going to see a hole. That's where the back part needs to lock into. That holds it in place. Put the spacer on top. Let's get this in. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put that spring back. Let's pull this back off. I apologize. Let's put this spring back in. So this goes into the frame, I guess you want to call it. Again, you want to slide it in. It twists. And then the front part goes into the disconnector arm. And then you slide it through and it goes back in place. So, okay, let's make sure that spring's in place. Now we grab the hammer. Sorry to confuse anybody. Hammer back in place. Again, put the back part in the little slot. Get the little bushing in here. We're going to go ahead and grab the sear spring by the long end side, and the sear itself, which is going to sit in this orientation, if you can see it. We're going to get the first part of the leg in over the pin, then drop the sear spring in, and then push it down in, and it will fall into place, which it just did. So, straightforward. Magazine holder there. Buffer goes in the back pin. And this is the trickiest part I found. This is the detent spring. And I tried one way of putting it back together, or I put it in this, push it all the way down, held it in the back side, but I found that I had compressed the spring too much, so I had to stretch it out a little bit. So now what I've done is I've balanced it right here. Let's see if I can do it. First try, maybe not. And once I balance it, it stands up where I can get the other side of the plate together. So let's see if I can do this in camera. Okay, I'm going to pause. Okay, so I'm back. So what I did, it just took me about 3 tries. I just don't want to waste too much time, is I standed the disconnect and the spring right by the hole where it goes into. And what we're going to try to do now is grab the upper plate, and we're gonna try to grab that disconnect, and that'll hold it in place, and then line all these pins up. It sounds maybe more complex than it is, but so I do is I push it straight down, grab the disconnect, and try to line some things up here, which looks like it's falling into place. It's not sitting flat because what's happening, I could see it, but let me see if I could pull it up so you could see it. Oh, actually, it just fell into place there. All right, well, that was nice. What was happening, why it wasn't going together, was this pin for the disconnector needs to slide into this hole, which is right here. So we've got it all together. Let's go ahead and install the clips. We got 3 on this side. So we got 1 here, and I got some needle nose pliers. Oh, a little side note, I found that one of these clips wasn't holding really tight, so I took the C-clip off and squeezed it together with the pliers and made it tighter. So if you find one of those not fitting well, just do the same. So nice engagement, it clicked, which is what you want to hear. You know it's not going to come apart. Second one together. And now the third, which is right above the buffer, and this slides into here. So we can get that lined up. Okay, so go ahead and flip her over. We're going to install the washer we had and the big C-clip on the back part, and get the pliers and pop that back together as well. Alright, well that was a nice engagement. That's nice and tight. You'll see that the sear spring is hanging down right here. What we need to do now is go ahead and get that under this pin right here. So this pin, and we need to get the spring underneath there. So just get my pliers so you can get my fingers out of the way so you can see it. Go ahead and grab it, and it needs to actually sit in the bottom part, the lower section closest to me, I guess you want to call it. Slide underneath there, it grabs it. So it's mostly back together. All I'm going to do now is go ahead and remove this paper clip, but I need to take pressure off it, so we're going to push on the hammer. That will relieve the pressure and remove the pin. So let's do a quick function test. Got the disconnector here working. That's not, sorry, not disconnector, the magazine release or last shot hold open. We have the magazine disconnector on this side, and that's got tension, and everything's working. So let's get the rest of the gun and put this back together. Alright, so go ahead and grab the, I guess the receiver section. You can maybe stand this up on the scope, which is kind of nice and handy. Pretty easy to install. The forward part, well, actually before I go too far, go ahead and cock the hammer. Otherwise it will not go back together. Now the forward part drops into the front slot here, as you can see, in the back simply drops into place. You grab your pin. I guess you can go either way. I believe I found it this direction, so let's put this back in way and kind of center that. Now we grab the stock. Let's grab that, and we're going to slide it together. Let's see if I can grab this here. There we go. Looks like it's dropping together. And let's go back a little bit. And it pretty much just drops into place, which looks like it just did. So now we're going to grab the trigger guard. We're going to get that lever lined in the hole, push it down, and then underneath the mag release. Beautiful. 2 screws, the longer one in the back again, and the shorter one in the front. Let's go ahead and tighten this down, and we should be back together. And the forward side. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to finish tightening this up, I should say. And this rifle is now back together. So there we go. Easy as that.